very vocal Bellum fans out in force tonight.
Start things off on Lighthouse.
Yep. With a 2018 record of 13-3 on Control, 16-4 points this year. Have to expect X6 massively controls this as Godsby wins the trade on Neist.
It wasn't even a trade, it was just a given. He was just like, here, take this damage.
Yeah, I mean, he gave a little bit of heal percentage to Char, but that's it.
Well, Neist going to be finding that kill there onto Order. Roki under fire at the moment. Can he get out of there? So far, it seems like he will be able to. Bubble thrown down there in the street. Just going to be helping to mitigate some of this damage coming through from the Pharah.
Neist trying to flank a little bit here. They're gatekeeping them into this choke, so Bellum will win the control of the Lighthouse first. X6 wants to convert this into a capture now, though. Great bubble by No Smite.
Nice. Still getting tagged up, going low, and not going to be able to get out of there alive. Was trying to dip lower and lower to try to deny that line of sight, but wasn't really sure where Godsby was, it would seem. Now pushing forward, Order getting really up close and personal here. Tries to get the poop off there. The concussive blast is not able to do so, as Rhea just takes a couple zaps, but Rio will be the one dying in the end.
We had a first-person view of Neist throughout the entirety of that fight, as Godsby is going to clean this up. They should be able to get the recap. But but what you notice in that fight when you watch Neist first-person view is just how difficult it is to be a Pharah when you're losing the tank war, and Godsby has full line of sight because there's no pressure on him, versus Happy on the other side was just not able to freely take shots. So it's really cool sometimes to see the perspective of the Pharah that's struggling, the Pharah that is under that pressure, who does end up getting taken out there. They did get 32%, but X6 has ult advantage now, and they control line of sight better. So Order, again, only pressured by the D.Va right now, is able to do so much damage, in fact, almost de-meching the D.Va.
Yeah, almost takes him out. In the meantime, Godsby will be taken down by Neist. No Smite. Good for a kill there on a Happy. Going to be unable to find him, but now pops the Primal Rage as he tries to chase it a little bit deeper. We'll just go ahead and settle for his Zenyatta. I think it's going to be a pretty good target to go for, but can't really lock him down. Just way too slippery as one J Lee. Keeps himself alive. Rhea dead. Several members going down on the side of X6, and Bellum, they have that flip. They're going to be ticking up now, approaching 50% as they gain control.
Yeah, very well played here by Neist. Is able to kind of force his way into the back line after doing some pot shots on the tank, so that No Smite tried to split the support line with his Primal Rage, and he kind of got cut out, and Neist burned him down, and then was able to, while he was overextended, find the supports of Bellum, do that extra damage. 1J Lee getting picked off, as you mentioned, was the first, or sorry, Bebe getting picked off there after 1J Lee survived was the first big problem.
Oh, Barrage coming down, looking for the finish here onto the Mercy. Can't get it. Chara makes his way out of there, and Order will just get taken down by Neist. At the same time, Rio gonna fall, but Happy wins the Widowmaker battle against Godsby. And X6 are struggling to regain control over this point. Barrage coming down. The Transcendent's already burned out by Bebe. Both healers gonna fall, and X6 might be losing out on a Lighthouse. They get so close to getting this cap. It's going to be No Smite pushing forward, trying to build up for that Primal Rage as swiftly as he can as the rockets come in from the side. Nice hovering here, low on HP, now going to get pocketed back up, just layering these rockets straight into the face of Rhea. Order going to get taken down by the self-destruct from Envy as Bellum just maintain control and do not give X6 an inch to work with.
Neist finally goes down here. This could be the turning point if Godsby can pop off. He's got line of sight. Rio rushing back onto the point.
Godsby getting taken down, the team wipe coming through, and Bellum will be able to close out Lighthouse, 99 to 35%. X6 unable to really find any ground to stand on here at the start of Ilios.
It was Chara's Valkyrie that kept Neist alive for so long, and when you're fighting on a small area like the Lighthouse, Valkyrie is going to chain, obviously, between the heroes, so he's able to not only keep the tank sealed up, but also pocket Neist at the same time, so that Valkyrie timing there to win the longer fight, but that even though X6 collapsed back on and eventually did kill Neist, they had to use a lot to do it. And it was one of those sloppy engages where, you know, a lot of people, you know, like Twitch chat are putting the lulls in the chat because it's like, why did they fight like that? Why did they come in like that? But when your opponent's got 95% and you're not on the point, you got to use everything you can to get to it. That's step one before you really start thinking about positioning in a fight. So this is going to be almost mirrored, with the exception that it's D.Va-less for Bellum, so they're using it as the sub-tank. They have a lot more damage than X6 does because they're going solo Widow, but they don't have any ability to flank.
Happy already going to take down Order, so good opening kill here. Try to secure the point for Bellum. Envy charging forward, just having that shield ready to go in case he needs to bash somebody, and Happy's going to find a follow-up kill as Bebe will go down. So X6 certainly not going to be able to push forward and try to get to contest this initial cap, so Bellum already going to be moving up.
The Brigida pick here for X6 is going to be useful to help protect Godsby because Nice is looking for backline picks, right? But Nice doesn't have to be aggressive when they control the point. He can actually just play more passively and be more of a peel tracer. Does harass here. Brigida's nowhere to be found, in fact.
Yeah, it's actually going to be Roki rotating over to try to keep him alive. And Order taken down yet again as 1J Lee this time. We'll take him out.
Not entirely sure where he was.
So far forward, yeah, really hard to say. I think might have been operating around this high ground flank here on the walkway.
Yeah, maybe.
Right through the little tunnel here. Might have been in this vicinity, but hard to say without a wider camera angle. Couldn't see the outline as Happy goes into the pop-up.
Rhea's got a lot of pressure on him, right, on this Diva pick to do some extra damage. They do get the stun.
Envy just going to be knocked off onto the low ground, can still swing away, can still get those hits and try to build up for that rally. She's so close to it, but will die before he can get that one ready to go. Order comes up with a kill. Starts building up towards the zone as X6 tries to get the cap, and seems like Bellum might just be surrendering this one. Yes, they do. 57% gain, but now they're coming back in. They killed Godsby, they killed Nosmite. They're looking for a bit more. Transcendence force out here by 1J Lee. Gets back in onto the point where they're actually back capping this one effectively as X6 is not operating on it, and they lose it that quickly. Only 9% gain. The kills come in, the follow-up. So strong from Bellum.
That was such a perfect Transcendence as well. He waited till the last second, using it almost like a Primal Rage. The rest of Bellum gets onto the point. They have speed boost from the Lucio. Worst case scenario, they were going to be able to use Sound Barrier to buy time for Envy to get the rally, but they didn't need to, so they still hold the rally, which they can use at any time. In fact, we'll probably use very shortly here. Nice looking for the blanket again. Godsby does not have Order on top of him.
And dives in, now comes into the backside, but 2 kills going to be going over immediately to the side of X6 as Roki throws down that Sound Barrier. They're charging forward. Order throwing in the armor on top of all of it. Just trying to keep them alive, gets the kill in onto Chara. Be another flip, yep, but it's 10% to 92. X6 have to maintain control.
Yeah, the biggest unfortunate circumstance for Bellum in that last fight is they traded the barrier and the rally and lost both. The rally didn't even complete.
Nice thinks he's sneaky, but Godsby knows. He sees all.
And otherwise, X6 does have an ult advantage, and they didn't start from 0 here. So this is certainly a point that could turn their way. It's very rare to see a 90+ flip backwards, but it can happen.
Almost got Happy. A little extra charge on that shot. Would have had a kill on the enemy Widow. There's no res, so would have been a nice little delay.
All right, Envy leading the charge here. The pulse is good.
Yeah, finds it. Order going to be blown out of the water here. As Bellum yet again charging onto the point, trying to get the split. 1J Lee taken out by Nosmite with that Primal Rage, diving to the backside. Trying to threaten Bebe. He'll go decently low, but still going to be alive and in the fight here for the moment as Nosmite gets in on top of Happy, who has no real form of escape, but they're going to be happy with they're going to be satisfied rather with the pressure that they have gained here. Is X6, but Bebe going to fall. Nosmite going low, needs to get some heals, and Roki obviously not going to be able to burst heal up a Winston very quickly. Some tags in on Chara as he goes low, hides around the pillar. Final shot, not going to get the connection, so Godsby not going to find that punish.
Well, the Ana pick is really doing a lot for them, but they've lost Rhea here. He couldn't actually save him this time. This could be the loss here.
Yeah, it's looking like the flip going to come through very swiftly as they get ready to force out the overtime. Somebody from X6 is going to have to get in onto the point, but they are just keeping them contained right now. Nosmite's still dead. Rhea just now coming back up. They try to charge through. They put the nano onto Order just so he can try to make it in, but he's not fast enough. And Bellum will go ahead and find a 2-0 win on Achilios.
So X6 walking away with their first loss of the season. Win streak obviously still continued, but not the map streak that they had coming into this. The Ana pick was really cool because they're running the Diva and the Brigida together, sacrificing a little bit of damage. They didn't have a Tracer, but the Ana meant that they could continue to bio-grenade and heal up and be sustainable, keep Rhea alive. Unfortunately, though, in that last fight, the picks came through. The pulse was amazing, and had somehow, some way, Nosmite survived, which would have been difficult. Maybe if they had maybe had hit him with a few more left clicks, heals. He survives, gets nanoed, builds a Primal Rage. That was what they were kind of trying to bank on. That's why the nano was saved so long. But as you point out, in the end, they just tried to use it on Order in desperation. Did not work out in the end. But Bellum looks coordinated today. They do seem to be quite masterful at this Brigida style, which we didn't end up seeing that much of when they faced off against Kongdu Panthera, because it was, again, the tank style that Kongdu Panthera forced them to respond to. They had to mirror that, playing outside of their comfort zone. But when it's the Brigida and the Widow together on Achilios, played it quite well.
Yeah, well, a rough start for X6. That's going to be their first map loss here. So the 4-0 dream is going to be dead. Can't move up to 8 points now. Can still bounce back and try to win these next 3 games. But Bellum looking very strong, much more coordinated, as you were saying. Not as many pop-off performances from X6 as we might have been expecting. Godspeed with a couple nice snipes, but overall, Happy was standing up to him quite well with the Widowmaker, so a lot more evenly matched, maybe even than we were anticipating here, or maybe a bit more one-sided for Bellum than we were anticipating here going up against X6.
When you have a Tracer player that's harassing as well, like, it becomes more difficult for Godspeed to be comfortable, and it makes it more difficult for him to actually utilize the Widow pick. And the Brigida pick there for X6 felt like, even though Order was very mechanically gifted on it, it felt like he just didn't utilize it to counter the Tracer correctly. So we'll see how things change as we take a look at some of these fan signs.
Nice Sombra coming through, and Vegeta McCree, I guess.
It says you're #1.
that is definitely a Dragon Ball Z character.
Oh yeah, I think it's supposed to be Vegeta, as you say.
It looks like him.
I don't know if Vegeta ever says you're #1, but
I don't think so. He says a much larger number. But another Zenyatta coming through.
Much larger number indeed.
Punched him in the face.
So
always some great artwork here.
Yeah, like literally
Contenders.
Always. There's never been a day where we're like, it was okay today.
None of those
What's
let X do X memes in the background.
What's going on behind the Zen sign, though?
Yeah, lower it.
Oh, look at this. We saw this earlier, but we're getting a better shot
now.
now.
They kind of flashed it, but now we'll get the close-up here. The X6 Farah, now he's got the the follow-up sign again.
Very, very impressive drawing there with the helmet off. This is just more creative, more than... look at these. They've got the Envy hat. Like, Envy hat for her and the Envy hat on the drawing.
The nice, like, trucker hat, and has it on in person.
It doesn't look like her in the drawing, though.
needs to work on the self-portraits, I suppose.
She's like, well, if I had a Bellum jersey, it would look a little bit more realistic, so maybe I can get one.
Yeah, maybe I should get one of those and like a Tracer statue to go with it.
Well, as we head into Hybrid now, it will be X6 first Hybrid map pick of the season. It's tough to say where they'll take us because stylistically they haven't shown us a whole lot yet.
Okay.
It'll be the Icon Vault again, so back-to-back today. This is a map where, again, the Farah is really important. So Neist versus, on the side of X6, Order, once again going to be kind of what decides the trades on the ground, as Godspeed will continue to play Widowmaker. So this one is just going to be, I think, at least for the first attack defense, we're going to learn a lot about what the Farahs prioritize. We saw previously Yaki going for the DPSs, which didn't work out as well as the tank targeting we saw coming through. So let's see how they decide to compare.
It seems like we're ready to go, so let's go ahead and dive onto Icon Vault for the second time today. Already very fast set on Achilios, but something tells me we're going to be slowing down the pace a little bit. Probably going to have these longer rounds start coming through for Hybrid Assault and Escort. Probably a bit more back and forth, or at least for if you're an X6 fan, you would hope so.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that sentiment. It feels that is going to be how this goes. We know X6 is a very experienced team that has seen many more losses in the past against tougher opponents than this and bounced back. So we will see the Aura Widowmaker here, Tracerless, on the side of the attack here for X6, though. Godspeed will at least spawn on Tracer. Let's see if they can make this work. The extra pressure is going to be on Happy. It's Brigida-less. So if Godspeed can circumvent the tanks as well as the Farah without eating shots and being forced to use a recall, he's going to put some real pressure on Happy, which will give further space to Order.
He's working on it right now. He's trying to push around that left-hand side.
Yeah, you can see it right there.
The squad. Now Godspeed wrapping around, getting in. a bit deeper, pushing through to the Lodge. And oh boy, trying to get that one clip. Good immediate turn. Yeah, Envy on the spot there. Just immediately turns around, denies that damage coming through, and now they take the fight back over to the side of X6, eliminating the tank line. Happy popping up, looking for that shot on the Bebe, but he's already dead. 1J Lee has cleaned it up.
Really good defense matrix there by Envy. Without that, this is a completely different situation. Nice. Just kind of get some shots off here onto Order and onto the tanks when possible. There's no real opening for Bellum, or sorry, for X6. Godsby is going to again try to harass in the backline. Here comes the dive across, out of line of sight of Happy. In fact, he can't hit the tank right now. He moves away. And Godsby is very close to a pulse bomb. He's just kind of farming it right now as best as he can onto the tanks.
He's looking for an angle. He just hasn't really been able to find one.
Yeah, he knows where Happy is.
Shots coming through as they try to take that 1J lead, but Transcendence is already available, so he'll go ahead and pop that one. They also have a barrage now to work with. Pulse Bomb, gonna go wide. Godsby not able to lock down the Widow, but can he get the spray in with the help of Order? They will be able to kill Happy, but hey guys, look at the rest of your squad. You've already lost 2 other members on top of the Para. And now we'll go ahead and make it 3 as Roki dies as well.
A little bit of tunnel vision here to try to kill the Widow rather than trying to win the extended fight after building that pulse bomb from Godsby, when clearly, as you mentioned, the rest of the fight was going awry for X6. Used his pulse bomb, he can build another one up. 1J Lee, despite using that transcend super early, had a 20% advantage and is now still about to have a second one as Bebe gets his first. So Bellum and fantastic ult economy right now.
Having an absolutely wonderful game. And for sights out, nice playing forward, trying to duel out against Order. Happy barely missed that shot. Except Barrage ready to go. Order's still working on his. Ultimates across the board, pretty stacked up. This could be either team's victory here in the next fight, but nice little opening there from the side of Order. Gets rid of Chara, no res going to be available. Now Rhea goes for it, finds Nice, and X6-Gaming starting to wake up here on Eichenwald. Come up with multiple kills, looking for a little bit more. Want to pop Envy out of that mech.
Well, Godsby gonna just clean up the D.Va mech here, builds a pulse with it, won't need it, obviously, as Envy's finally taken out. He was his bane for the entirety of that first and second push, just making it tough. This is a bit of a weird contest here with the Mercy leading the charge. Don't know if this is gonna work out.
Have Rio coming in on the backside here with the Primal Rage, but you can see No Smite popping his own, going forward, trying to deal with the healers, but gets taken down very low because of that Discord Orb. Back on the point, 50 seconds remaining, but it seems like X6 will be able to get the cap. It was a decent time buy from Bellum. Not sure if the Primal Rage needed to be committed. Already the clock was pretty well trained.
Yeah,
I mean, see what they're going to change up here for now. It's going to be nice on that Tracer still.
We talk a lot about reviewing the tape, which of course means when you go back to the team house, taking a look at the VOD, seeing what decisions could have probably been made better, and I think this is going to be one that Bellum looks back on and says, well, we probably called out the Primal could buy us enough time to get on the point, but he was just simply too far away to really have any huge impact there. Happy with a really nice angle here. In fact, there's no way for Godspeed to contest this at the moment. He's going to have to switch angles.
Oh boy, yep. Saw that one coming, Roki. Such a thing as infrasight. Should have had the call, but that was still going to be up, and Order will also go down.
Bellum is really controlling this game right now. The massive ult advantages they've been building because 1J Lee has been really accurate on the Zenyatta, so he's had more transcendences available.
Order is dead.
And Happy having that infrasight means that, you know, he knows where they're going to try to move, so X6 has to sit there.
He's trying to spawn camp from the castle right now.
Pretty much.
The ramparts.
And
has that angle.
Look at that, even sees Order stick his head out, forces him to drop his shield for a second to recharge.
Oh! Doesn't quite find it.
Happy is basically just saying, I am better than you right now.
Yeah.
Fights
his way back, changing up the angle here. Transcendence going to be available from both of these Zenyatas.
Envy is just making it so difficult for Nice to do anything right now.
Transcendence going to be coming down. Bellum pushing in. Zenyatta standoff happening right around the card as both of them just dance. Stun there, coming through from Order. Does get the Killian onto the Nice and the res. Out from Chara, brings Happy back into the fray, but to have some nice shots if they want to shut down this push, because right now, X6-Gaming are starting to charge forward. The clock's already been drained down considerably. Happy makes a shot to the head, not a full charge, so Godsby can't get the execution, but has the infrasight up. He's on the hunt.
Rally's up here as well, coming in from Order.
Well, I think this is double infrasight actually from these Widowmakers. Godsby getting jumped on, goes to the side, gets the armor coming through, manages to stay alive here for the moment, but gets a smattering of damage in, not going to be finding any kills, and the cart is going to be halted here at the moment with a minute remaining. They still have to make it across the bridge with very limited ults.
Neist is making the switch over to the Brigida now. You know, he was running the Tracer, and it wasn't doing very much. Like, Envy was kind of keeping everybody covered, and he couldn't flank. Godsby was getting killed anyway, so like the fact that Envy was playing so well meant he couldn't do much on the Tracer, so he's getting something a little bit more impactful here.
Diving from Rio, goes low, manages to pop that Primal Rage, but the Focus Fire is still coming through. Falling down well below half HP, has to just go ahead, jump back over to the side. Chara taken out by Godsby, who follows up with the pop out there onto the back, and now X6-Gaming trying to get things rolling, but again, they are still just working with scraps as far as the time bank is concerned.
Yeah, I mean, Rio doesn't have Primal Rage. Envy's going to walk away or walk up with 70% of his self-destruct. If he can be pocketed by Chara, maybe he can build it, and that can delay some time, but they certainly should commit this time to the contest. Rio needs to get on it. He doesn't have Primal. He buys some time, but Envy, he's up to that 100. He's got the self-destruct he was working for. He is pocketed. Let's see if it buys time.
3.5 meters left to go here. Roki going to go down off the bat. Self-destruct manages to take out Rio. A good pick. Now Envy dead after being knocked out of that mech, so no one really to try to stand up onto the payload. As I say that, Chara's going to go ahead, pops the wrist to bring Rio back into the fight, but Happy is gone. Alleviates a lot of pressure. Chara dead, and there should be the completion here for the side of X6 as they nearly get the team wipe. You see the swaps getting ready to come down as Envy will be rotating over onto that Zarya and Happy onto the Hanzo.
So unfortunate Envy just couldn't make an impact with the self-destruct there. We are going to see the tank switches happen here, something that Envy Space did that was well predicted. X6 scouts it out now. We'll see if they just want to stick with this Brigida pick to counter it, or if they want to do the full Junkrat switch.
Should be getting that rally going, honestly, right now. There we go. They finally do go ahead and pop that as they start charging around the corner. Okay,
this is going to be a huge engage for Bellum. They have all advantages to build ultimates right now. With that rally you just mentioned, this should be a way for them to get half a Graviton, half a Shatter.
52 seconds left to go here on the clock. Is Happy, just spams away with Storm Arrows, looking for some hits, looking to build up for that Dragon Strike. Envy still at 30% on the charge. Snowsmite jumps in, Primal Rage has to be popped. He goes dangerously low, leaping to the side, looking for a target, but doesn't really define that much. Jumps in to get a couple hits onto Wanjay Lee, helps take down Neist. So a good pickup coming through as the self-destruct gets dropped in, but Rio not going to be finding any picks as the shield comes up from Rio. Stun in, Transcendence out, Wanjay Lee helping to keep everybody alive. Envy going to be res back in. Chara using that Zen ult for the safety. 2.26 meters left to go, and the Dragon Strike is nearly ready to go. Happy, but he's going to get picked from the side. Godsby taking him down, but nice. The swap over onto the Doomfist, comes back out and takes down Roki.
And the flank was so good there from Godsby. The spawns are coming through here for Bellum. Envy's so close to the Graviton.
Rio going to go down. Nice falling as well. Envy has to stay in onto this point. Dragon Strike comes in, trying to zone them back. Graviton Surge. Not going to be getting anything yet. The D.Va able to devour that one with the defense matrix. And they're just now less than 2 meters away from pushing it through. Will be able to do so as they take down Bellum. But they get the completion here on Eichenwald, but it certainly was not easy for X6.
It was not, and it wasn't overtime. They made the tough call to stick with their composition rather than try to counter the Zarya Reinhardt coming out with Junkrat, as we saw just earlier, previously used by O2 Ardian when MVP Space pulled it out. It's a very common strategy to see, and it even was back in Season 1. But in this case, they stick with the comp they had. They wanted to make sure they could maintain ult efficiency with the very small time bank they had just after completing point B. And it ended up working out. The defense matrix grabbed the Graviton there. That was not the biggest story. It was really Godsby's flank, where he was able to eliminate the Hanzo, which is the biggest concern for the tank line here. Because Hanzo is so hard to kill in this situation because he's got the Reinhardt shield in front of him, and he has the Zarya bubble on top of him. And that ends up being almost impossible to kill directly without running the Junkrat to burst down those shields. However, Godsby found the angle, blew up the Hanzo, so that meant that the tanks could continue to advance forward, and the rest is history. However, you know, as mentioned, the time bank here it's an overtime completion, so advantage massively to, you know, Bellum if they can get any time bank at all. Happy will show the McCree to start things off. Can again be better at both bursting the Pharah and killing the tanks than a Tracer can or a Hanzo can, but Widow will serve the same role. And obviously McCree versus Widow, you know, like Widow has larger range.
Yeah.
McCree has, you know, in his kit the ability to roll and also to stun someone. So there's obviously trade-offs as to why you'd switch it up, but it is going to be the Widow.
Well, 2 rounds of Eichenwald here today, and so far no Orisa Torbjorn comps on this point A defense like we saw so much of in the past. Not even Junkrat, honestly, which is a bit more surprising, I think. To not see that one coming through, especially from maybe Godspeed here. Or Order.
He's going to be running the Tracer, and yet again, Envy has been shutting it down.
Oh, well, shutting down. Godspeed manages to find 1J lead. Order in an awkward spot. Does a bit of self-damage there as Chara does. Barely managed to get that res off on a 1J lead. And Happy, in close quarters, manages to take down Godspeed.
With a predicted location on the recall as well. Very impressive.
Oh my, okay. Scoped in, 5 feet away, up in the air, flying around like a madman. Happy manages to get the headshot there, follows up for another, as Roki will go down. Bebe, nothing he can do. Rio will zap him to death, and that should just be point A in the books for Meta Bellum. Good God, Happy.
And despite Godspeed's best efforts to do a lot with the Tracer, Happy shuts him down with 1 headshot after recall, gets the 2nd pick there, and things just snowball from there. In terms of ult advantage, they've got a decent one in terms of the barrage more than anything else. Everything else is pretty even, so this is not something that's going to necessarily snowball, as the castle is controlled here by X6. Godspeed's made the switch back to the Widow. So Order even popping up to try to take pot shots, or sorry, Nice trying to take pot shots is going to be hard. So Godspeed's actually untracked at the moment.
Yeah, he keeps shifting around, looking for the shot there. On to Chara, but his movement's just so damn good.
Yeah,
he just dodges out onto everything there with the Valkyrie. Keeping himself safe as he continues to disguise here alongside Nice, who nearly has that barrage ready to go. And Happy is going to find another kill as he takes down Order yet again. Ria pushing forward, Rockets coming down, looking to get some damage in onto Rio, who has that Primal Rage pump. Happy gets rid of Bebe, he's looking for more, comes up over the top, but he can't get Godspeed. The bubble, I believe, helping to protect him.
Happy
side,
just,
can't get him, but Roki's dead.
He's actually not flicking, he's tracking, but he tracks so fast, it's insane. Like, he does occasionally flick, of course, but he does both. As you can see, just watching his movements, it's a really unique style of Widow play. It's Nice just shooting holes through this doorway. They are gatekeeping X6 into their own defensive castle here, so they have to spill out into these chokes. Huge positional advantage right now goes to Meta Bellum. As you can see, as they spill out, they take so much damage.
Yeah, nearly have the pop here on Ria. He does have that self-destruct and will go ahead and toss that one down. Nice trying to cut his way back. Will be able to do so safely, and they cannot kill Ria before he makes it back in, but Happy gets rid of that pesky Pharah yet again and forces a res from Roki. Self-destruct in from Envy. No kills. The Transcendence in onto the point as Meta Bellum trying to go ahead and get this cap in. They push forward. Order going down yet again. Ria going low, out of the mech. In onto the point, and now it's just going to be on No Smite. Leaps forward, drops the bubble, but he is completely isolated and surrounded. He will fall. And X6-Gaming just have to head for the hills, but they won't really be able to. Bebe going to get a nice little extra death in on the end, so Meta Bellum trying to go for the maximum stagger that they can. Barrage being committed, will take down Order.
We see the Zarya Reinhardt switch, but they don't have a lot of time to build ultimates here because the push is just coming in so fast with the staggers you just mentioned. And Meta Bellum, you know, they shut them down so hard on that drawbridge because they have positional advantage. You're trying to run Riddle Pharah, but you have to leave, which means that the D.Va has to lead the charge, who, as you said, got D-maxed right away. So they switch it up now, trying to defend C, with Order blocking the shots here on this Brigida. Here's the Primal.
Rio into the back, does find the Mercy. And now is looking for Godspeed, but he's just kind of smacking them back into the spawn rooms here. Godspeed jumping over to the side, but Happy follows up with the kill there. Roki finds another one as Order goes down. 1J lead, getting rid of No Smite. Happy getting rid of Bebe. X6-Gaming are just getting ripped to bits. Meta Bellum charging forward, still 4 minutes on the clock with 3 members alive at the moment. One of them going down as Nice gets rid of Roki, and that's just going to be it. Meta Bellum absolutely clapped X6.
Yeah. That absolutely destroyed them, because the reason why they got such a great timing is the drawbridge can be a double-edged sword. It's usually where the defender buys the most amount of time. Lunatic High play historically the best team we had in Korea at buying time on that point B contest. Other teams, of course, adapted their style seasons later. But when you lose the fight before it gets to the drawbridge, then as they're pushing it, they can gatekeep you into your own castle towards point C. You struggle a lot there, so they got a great time bank. Then they're forced to switch while getting staggered. And the key thing is the attack we saw coming through, the Primal Rage, just stopped them from being able to build ults or even be in position. Like, they dove onto the Mercy, they got the kill there, which meant no res, and then they were just knocking everyone away, knocking these essentially melee heroes, the Reinhardt and the Zarya, out of position to peel and really do anything. So the hero swaps didn't matter. They had an ult advantage off the trades they got on the point B attack. And they just understood how to, with the advantage they have, gatekeep everyone inside. In some ways, you know, it's a huge mistake by X6 to have taken that fight on the drawbridge like that, because that's really what this time make is all about. So 4 minutes now.
To defend for one tick.
Yeah, to get one tick. How does X6 make this happen? Godsby again on the tracer, but Envy has just been making that a moot point so far. His protection on the D.Va has been really top-notch.
Yeah, we saw some wonderful defense matrixing coming through, but Nice isn't really paying attention to what's above him. Not crossing a street. You have to look everywhere around you in 360 degree when you're going to be flying like that. Nice.
Yeah.
Just have the res. Gets brought back in. Order. Taking some tags. Just going to hop, skip, and jump over that health pack and allow for Roki to get some extra ult charge off of him. Dive in coming through. Side room. Some rockets going to be spammed out. Rhea going to get knocked out of that mech. X6 suffering the first significant loss here, and Happy yet again comes around the corner and just pops Order in the face. Roki gonna die. Nice follows up with that one. Happy will get traded out by Noseplane, but X6 needs so much more than that if they want to maintain control over this point. Gosby going forward, nearly has the pulse bomb ready to go, but he's got to take down some tanks. Because now Bebe's dead. Point just now going to get contested here from the side of Rhea, who is all on his lonesome. He is completely surrounded. He's going to get knocked out of it. Cannot step off, but cannot survive either. Order comes in, everybody goes down, and Bellum now up 2-0 in this series over our champions, X6.
You know, I said when the series started, when we talked about the DPS duo of Godsby and Order, I said, well, we don't know where the cracks show for X6 when they're on desperate situations. How do they play? How do they flex? Again, I said that we may never see that if they continue to play as well as they did in the previous series. There's Tydala in the booth, talking to Happy, but in that Eichenwald game, I think was where we really saw their weaknesses, and it was lack of flexibility and the reliance on the Tracer that was so well shut down by Envy. And no matter what, we don't even always see D.Va, but when D.Va's there to peel for the Tracer rather than the Brigitte, if you're this good at using Defense Matrix, you maybe need the Brigitte to shut down the mobility of the Tracer. You just D-Matrix, you've got a solid tanky lineup. And, you know, Happy's accuracy is phenomenal, and he's given opportunities when it's the Tracer just can't harass him, so it almost feels like a wasted hero pick, and it's crazy to say that about Tracer, who's been a staple of the meta forever, and is only really now starting to fall out a little bit with the Brigitte introduction and some of the, the changes to other heroes. But X6, they look weak when they're reliant on this Tracer against Envy specifically. So how are they going to flex now? How are they going to be flexible and try to switch it up? Will we see a sub of Glister? Will they try to play dive? You know, it's tough to say, because I think that they've almost already lost this series. Like,
yeah, it's just one more map, that's it.
After you lose 2 maps like that, you can't just suddenly change your entire MO, your entire plan for the series on a whim. You can't just flip a switch. That's not how it works.
Well, it looks like they will be flipping a switch and going ahead and getting rid of Order, so Order going to be subbed out, it would seem,
looks
for
that
Glister, who is the only other sub player on the roster for X6. So we'll be bringing him in. He's definitely the more rookie player. We've seen Glister a couple times. We saw him in their first match day versus WGS. He got some plays in. It was, you know, a strong performance from him. But against WGS, a bit more expected. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of the replays here at the start of Achilios, where Bellum, I mean, they've been commanding since this.
Godsby has had some great moments on the Widow in terms of his flanks. We already know his accuracy is great. He's had some good predictive moments here, predicting nice on Achilios there. And we'll probably see a shot of him actually on the attack on Eichenwald as well, where he was able to get that opening kill there that got them the overtime completion. But you can see that on the Tracer overall, there just hasn't been much success for X6, mostly because of Envy, but also because of their defensive setup in general. They stay grouped up when they know the Tracer's on the other side. So we ended up getting to see that flank Widow move by Godsby, but you guys saw it when you were watching the game itself. Yeah, the Tracer pick just, it isn't holding water here, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I don't know what Glister's really going to bring to the table, because on the few occasions that we have seen him, the Tracer has been one of the big picks that he has played for X6. So maybe they're just thinking that Order has an off day and they want to keep running the Tracer. It's really hard to say until we get into game. Also need to figure out what that next map pick is going to be, because X6, this is the first time in a while that they've had to select maps, so maybe they don't know what to do. But guys, we're going to go to a quick break now that we're halfway through the series. When we come back, we'll see if Bellum can just go ahead and close this out 3-0 at the start.